Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name's Carol, and this is your intuitive daily tarot. And today we're going to be doing a 3-card spread. In the first part of the reading, I'm going to look at what issue you're dealing with, what situation you're sitting in, whether it's a struggle, whether it's a decision you have to make. And then in part 2, I'm going to bring some clarity on that because we're going to be looking at your shadow. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of shadow work. And if you are unfamiliar with shadow work, I have left a video about shadow work and how to do it. I've made that video. And so that'll be in my description box for you if you want to have a look at that. Shadow work is really just taking a deep dive into our stuff, and sometimes we need some help on how to do it. And, it can be quite overwhelming to look at things that are sitting in our unconscious that we're not aware of. But the thing is here, our shadow is impacting everything we do in life, especially our relationships. And so it's really important to know what's sitting in our shadow and sort of causing us to repeat sometimes these patterns. And that might be showing up for you in the first part, a repeating pattern. And finally, we're going to get some advice from the tarot in the third part. So I'm going to pull 3 cards right now from the Rider-Waite deck just to start us off, and then I'll clarify that with the Light Seer's Tarot. So I'm just going to pull 1 card for each section. So I hope the tarot behaves. I just want 1 card, please, for first section for the issue. Here we go. We have the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands. Let's look at what's coming out from your shadow right now. And the Death card came out from your shadow. The Death card. And advice from the tarot, please. Advice from the tarot. 1 card, please. We have the Temperance card as advice from the tarot. Okay, so Light Seer's Tarot deck. Let's ask Tarot for 3 cards only for the 7 of Wands in reverse here. 3 cards for clarification. The King of Cups in reverse. 2 more cards, please. The 2 of Wands. And then 1 more card, please. Ooh, we're going to take this first one that came out, which was the Devil in reverse. The Devil in reverse. All right, so clarifiers, please, for the Death card. The Death card. Three cards. Oh, that one almost came out. 3 cards here. You have the Emperor. Oh, you have 2 here. So you have the Empress card as your first clarifier. And then we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. And 1 more card. Okay, we got the Hierophant card. Hierophant card. Temperance. Let's see how it clarifies Temperance today. The 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. 2 more cards. Did I get 2? Yes, yay! I like when 2 fly out. All right, Page of Pentacles and the Sun. Nice card to end your reading with today. That card hasn't come out for a long time. We need some joy around here. Okay, so let's start off with the 7 of Wands. I don't know. I feel like the 7 of Wands, it's in reverse. So let's look at your situation. Where this is my favorite card in the deck, I think. I don't know why, it just is. Reminds me of my journey. That's why. So let's look at this in an upright position. You have this person that, I mean, obviously alone. Okay, he's by himself. He's fighting off all these other people below with their wands here. Like they're obviously they're not supporting him. They're not validating him. They're against him. They want him to come down. They could be jealous. And so this is where you're sitting right here, but there's a block here. So there is a real resistance. I'm seeing that, this whole channel is about healing. And oftentimes, I mean, a lot of times when you're doing healing journeys, sometimes you feel alone. You feel really alone, and you feel like you don't have the support of other people. So I see you here sitting in a place where you're not feeling supported. You're not feeling validated. And that can bring on such deep, very difficult emotions to deal with, of being alone and feeling like you have nobody's support out there. And it is a lot of times, I think, why people might try to, quit this journey and pack it all up and say, I'm not touching my emotions again. Because it really is a lonely journey. It really, really is. I can't tell you how many layers I've had to peel away of my own loneliness and my own healing journey. And feeling like I wasn't supported and like I wasn't validated, around people. And the King of Cups comes up next, and he's in reverse. And my King represents the male side of us. We all have two parts. We have a masculine aspect and a feminine aspect to us. All of us. It doesn't matter who you are, every single person on this planet. We may lean towards, one or the other. But it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just saying, but this is the cups. And so the masculine king for me in my deck is our ego self. That is the masculine side of us. And most of us are driven by the masculine side of us. We act out of that, with our masculine qualities. And the King of Cups here is really, it's our ego self. And that masculine part of us is ungrounded here. It's in reverse. So that tells me that there's a part of you that is really feeling like you don't want to deal with these emotions, right? And you're starting to maybe shut down a bit because you have this feeling of feeling so lonely, but it doesn't look like there's a part of you, the masculine part is kind of going like, don't shut that down. It's dangerous. The ego self does not like emotions, does not want us to get in touch with our emotions. And that's where I'm seeing here, like you're sitting in a lot of loneliness here. And there's a part of you that does not want to deal with this. And often I hear that part and it says, don't go there. Don't go there. That's dangerous. Emotions are dangerous. The Two of Wands comes up next, and there's this there's something you're thinking about, something you want to do. This is about, wands are about taking your life in a new direction. And it could be something this small. There's something you want to do, and it's just starting, right? The number 2 is about really a decision kind of making stage where you're just starting to look at, and maybe you're wanting to do something, or maybe you're thinking about, maybe I want to start to deal with this loneliness here. Like, I got to deal with this. So it could be a couple things here that you're maybe wanting to deal with it. Maybe you're thinking maybe you want to get back into therapy. I don't know. Like, what do you want to do? There's something here you want to do. But the Devil card's coming in, and he's in reverse. And look at the temptation here. He's, a lot of times when we want to get back into our emotions, right? When we want to start to feel again, when we want to feel that deep loneliness, that deep pain here that we have to feel of where we're sitting in, we will often go back to the devil is all about our addictions. It's all about those things that we use to help us numb our pain. And I see that in reverse here. So, maybe you're starting to realize, you're starting to become aware of, like in an upright position, this is, you need to look at become more aware of your addictions. And I think in reverse too, maybe you're realizing that, I'm starting to take a look at some of my addictions and how I'm using them to numb my pain. And we all have addictions, all of us. We can have one, we can be cross addicted. And my main one is still eating. That is when I know when my eating is getting out of control, that my emotions are coming up again. But I've grown to, because I've done a lot of healing and I continue to heal, my addiction to food has healed also. I'm not saying it's perfect, because you have to eat, but I have an awareness with it. And I think what's happening is maybe you're starting to realize that, I have these addictions and I'm numbing this loneliness that I'm feeling. And maybe I need to do something about it. Maybe you need to do something about it. And that's the first step in dealing with our addictions that help us numb our pain, is to bring an awareness to them. That's the first step. And I think everybody knows they have them. They don't need to be told. But it's just kind of stepping back from it, stepping back from ourselves and going, I have this and I need to do something about it. In your shadow, so what's coming up here that's impacting all of this, this loneliness? You have the Death card. And was it in reverse? And I can't remember, and I apologize. I think it was in reverse. The Death card is this individual, this skeletal figure walking through here and trampling over all these dead people. Looks like dolls, actually. But there's like things are dying all around here, and if this was in reverse, I'll treat it as it was in reverse. But the Death card is all about there's things in our life that need to go, people in our life that need to go, and we have to let go of some things, because in order for new things to come into our life, some things have to go, unfortunately. When you are on this journey, this healing journey, one of the first things my own therapist told me years ago was, you're going to lose some people on this journey. And I'm like, oh my God, like it was so scary at the time. And to be honest with you, I knew that there were some individuals that I needed to lose, but I just didn't know how I could do it at that time. But I had to heal a lot of my stuff before I could do it. And so in your shadow, there's some things people that need to be let go. So let's see what's going on in your shadow. The Empress card comes up. The Empress is the third card in the major arcana. She represents the feminine energy. She's the second half of the feminine energy. The second card in the major arcana is the High Priestess. The High Priestess represents our intuition, which is an incredible, beautiful, feminine quality that we all have. We are all intuitive. We just don't know it, and we don't listen to our intuition. We don't know how. She represents everything to do with emotions. Everything to do with emotions. And also creativity and who we are. And she's sitting here. You have a lot of emotions. You have a lot of emotions that are sitting here in your shadow. And the Knight of Cups comes in right after it. And a lot of emotions that you need to get in touch with and heal. The Knight of Cups comes in and he's in reverse. And my Knight's in the deck. I'll hold him up so I'll forget if he's in reverse or not. The Knights in our deck are about your freedom fighters. And they're all fighting for authenticity. They're all fighting to be free, right? To be able to do what they want to do. It's an adolescent part of us, right? So as an adolescent, we wanted to be free. We wanted to do what we wanted to do. What we wanted to be authentic. But a lot of times we were shut down as an adolescent. And so this particular night is coming here because as an adult, you're wanting to get this freedom. You want this freedom to maybe to feel, to go out and find out what it is you want to do. And but this night here is in reverse. And so I'm seeing that if a night is in, I want you to think of an adolescent because it's an adolescent part. So if it's an adolescent, adolescents, when they can't do something, they become angry. They become really angry. And they can become hopeless as well. And so I think what needs to be let go of here are, some of these emotions of anger, some of these emotions of hopelessness. Because when you were younger, like the Hierophant comes here as the last card here, and the Hierophant is all about obedience and what we were allowed to do and what we weren't allowed to do. And, it could come from, the way we were brought up. Maybe we were brought up in a religion or a cult or school almost. School will give us those things of, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. So this is about our obedience, our sense of obedience and what we were allowed to do and should do and not do. And so I think what I'm sensing here from your shadow is that when you were adolescent, there were certain things that you were told that you weren't allowed to do, you shouldn't do, and you were very, very, I'm going to say lived in maybe an oppressive environment, a controlled environment. And now this freedom wants to come up. This freedom to do what you want to do. But in order to do that, there's some things that have to go here. And what it's saying is you have these emotions, and maybe you have emotions of anger. You have emotions of hopelessness that are sitting in your shadow here. Because when you were younger, you were told, can't do it, shouldn't do it, not allowed to. And so you have buried this anger. You have buried this hopelessness, this depression that's sitting in you and sitting in your shadow. And sometimes when we have this buried anger, it gets spewed. It comes out and it gets, it comes out at the wrong times and we spew it out on our loved ones. And so there is a real need here for you to get in touch with your anger, your anger. And the Temperance card comes out for guidance from the tarot. And the Temperance card is all about finding the middle way, So if you're dealing with your anger and trying to figure out, how do I deal with my anger? How do I get this? How do I deal with, anger is an emotion. It's a great emotion because anger brings truth to things. Anger brings change. But what the Temperance comes out here and says, well, wait a minute here. Well, we're going to get our anger out, but we're not going to take it out on other people. And there's a way to get your anger out in a grounded way, right? We need to get grounded in ourselves first and do a lot of journaling from our anger. And that really helps us get it out on the computer. I smash the hell out of my keys to get my anger out. Because the Temperance says you've got to find a middle way here to deal with your anger. It has to come out in a grounded way, right? It can't come out suddenly on people around you. That's when it gets us into trouble. The Two of Pentacles says, well, the Two of Pentacles comes out when you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. You have all this infinity here of decisions you can make. But this particular individual is a bit ungrounded as to how to do this and do it and how to become grounded. How do you become grounded so that you can get in touch with this anger? And the Page, our inner child here, comes in. The Page is our inner child, our younger child, 4, 5, 6-year-old part of us that needs to heal. That needs to heal what it is that made us angry. That needs to heal the things that happened to us when we were younger. We need to get in touch with our inner child to start to hear what they're feeling, so we can get in touch with our anger. Because once you start to get in touch with your anger, once you can release that anger that's sitting in your unconscious, then the Sun card comes out, you know, the joy comes out. This is the joy of things that, you know, that make you happy, because right now, if you're sitting in an angry state of ungrounded anger, there's not one part of you that can see joy in your life. And I've been there. There isn't. I had to dig deep. I had to do some real healing of my younger parts. And the anger that they felt at people that told them what they couldn't do or shouldn't do or weren't allowed to do. And so I think what you need here is some help with your anger. And so I'm going to give you an anger playlist, and watch some of those videos and where I talk about anger and how you can get it out on paper and start to deal with it in a real grounded way, right? And slowly, and do it when you're not angry, so that when, you know, your anger does come out, you're able to be grounded and deal with that in a real grounded way. But you've got this sitting in your shadow that needs to come out. So take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.